Yo everybody, it's Anime James back again to give you another Pokemon Sun and Moon Wi-Fi battle. So, as you can see in my party, I have my Electrode, I got my Tortuga, I also got my Skarmory, my Midnight Lycanroc, my Machamp, and my Camerupt. And my opponent here, he has... Well, once again, I am facing another legendary user. So, yeah, so pretty much here I got my my Tortuga. Unfortunately, though, I do not get to use my Tortuga, and even though that my Mika Camerupt is back, I do not get to use it that often in this Wi-Fi battle. But anyway, here I am going to start the Wi-Fi battle. Okay, so for this Wi-Fi battle, I decided to start off with my Electrode, because why not? Electrode is super fast. This Electrode is actually a Verlis set. Yeah, I used to listen to Verlisify a lot. But you know, to be honest, he did have some pretty good Pokemon sets. But yeah, I decided to go for a foul play because I'm not sure what this Solgaleo was gonna do first. So he goes for a Sunsteel Strike, actually. I was actually thinking that he might swap out his Solgaleo, so he's gonna go for the Sunsteel Strike. That's gonna like take away half of my Electrode's HP. So I decided to go for a Volt Switch because I know that this thing is probably gonna go for something else. And so I swap out to my Falconzord. And my opponent's actually gonna go for the Zen Headbutt, which isn't gonna do much because apparently the Pokemon Psychic types don't do very well against Steel types. I don't know why. This name, though, on my Skarmory, I have no idea where I got the name Falconzord. I think I got it from another YouTuber I used to look up to. But yeah, I guess I got it from another YouTuber. So I'm gonna set up my spikes. I'm gonna set up my Scumbag hazards. I'm gonna go for spikes. I'm gonna recover a little bit with the leftovers. I'm going to set up my Stealth Rocks while my opponent's Solgaleo is gonna need to recharge. I don't know why he went for the Giga Impact. I guess he was thinking that I might swap into something else. So I'm gonna store a little bit of the with my leftovers. My opponent's actually gonna go for a Z. And that is going to take away surprisingly a huge chunk of my HP. So I decided to set up the Tailwind to increase my team's speed. And so I decided to go, and so my HP recovers a little bit with the leftovers. And now I decided to go for a Roost, completely restoring my Skarmory's HP. My Falconzord is really bulky, so my opponent decides to go for another Sunsteel Strike, probably hoping to get the kill on me for like some kind of last-ditch effort. And so here comes the Sunsteel Strike, and fortunately though for my Falconzord, it's not really going to do much, and I'm going to store a little bit of HP. So here I know that we're both going to switch out, so I decided to swap out, go back to my I decided to go for my Camerupt, and my opponent decides to swap out his Solgaleo for the Mimikyu. And I'm really interested to see like this Mimikyu set, because Mimikyu just has like a bunch of different possible sets. So I'm gonna Mega Evolve my Camerupt, and I was hoping that maybe the Tailwind would increase my camera speed, but it doesn't. It doesn't. So I'm gonna try and go for a Rock Slide to try and flinch this, but it actually goes for the Destiny Bond. Yeah, it goes for the Destiny Bond. I don't know why, what with it still having his disguise ability. So I'm gonna go for a Rock Slide, completely eliminating this Pokemon's disguise ability. And I'm gonna try and set up for my next Pokemon. And so I decide to, and so my Tailwind actually pithers away. So I'm gonna swap out my Camerupt with my Electrode and try and get the taunt off this thing. And it tries to go for a Mimic, And so I'm going to go for a taunt, but my opponent's actually going to go first thanks to the priority that is Shadow Sneak. And it's going to take down a chunk of my Electrode's HP. So I go for the taunt, so that way he doesn't use moves like Mimic or Destiny Bond anymore. And so he's going to go for another Shadow Sneak, and I'm hoping that my Electrode will survive this next turn, but it does not, unfortunately. And so my Electrode's going to go down, and so I decided to swap out to my Machamp because it knows Bullet Punch. Definitely, and it's also a Guts set Machamp. Definitely Guts is better than No Guard Machamp. That's just my opinion. I don't know if you guys agree, but that's my opinion. So I'm going to go for a bulk up, increasing both my physical defense and attack. Unfortunately, though, I forgot that my opponent is sporting the Alakazam. So I'm going to go for the bulk up. My burn orb is going to activate. I decided to swap out because I know that he's going to send out he's going to Mega Evolve his Alakazam. And so it's gonna come out here, he's gonna Mega Evolve, he's gonna summon all of his spoons, he's gonna get ready to eat some ice cream. Or cereal. And he's gonna trace my Falcon Zord's sturdy ability, which isn't really gonna do much because thanks to the oh, sorry. I think my allergies are acting up. But it's not really gonna matter because thanks to the spikes in Stealth Rock, the Alakazam lost some HP, so it's gonna go for a Shadow Ball, and that's actually gonna take out a huge chunk of my Falcon Zord's HP. Not only that, but it's also gonna knock down some special defense, so what the heck? And so I decided to go for a Tailwind to set up for my Lycanroc Midnight. And right here, I'm really hoping that my Lycanroc Midnight is going to survive whatever kind of move it's going to use next. So I swap out my Falcon Zord, I send out my Lycanroc, and I'm hoping that he'll be able to survive whatever kind of move this thing uses. It's going for a Psyshock, and it cuts down my Lycanroc's HP, so I decided to go for a Crunch, completely annihilating this Alakazam. So yeah, if anyone calls Lycanroc garbage, you better think again. Now out comes the Necrozma, and it's going to take down a few HP thanks to the spikes and Stealth Rock, and right here is right about where I use my Z move. Yeah, I took my Midnight Lycanroc's Focus Sash and gave it to my Electrode, and decided to give my Lycanroc the Rockinium Z, because when I did this battle, I actually recently watched the Pokemon Sun and Moon anime, and it was the episode where what was his name? Lily's brother, Gladian. It was actually the episode where Gladian shows up, and Gladian, he's just so edgy, and with that and his edgelord, the Werehog. So my Lycanroc, I decided to swap back into my Machamp because I know that this thing is gonna go for the Shadow Sneak. So of course, as I predicted, he's going to go for the Shadow Sneak and try and knock down my Machamp, but it's not really going to do much because I actually EV'd my Machamp in HP, physical, attack, and defense, and so I decided to go for a Bullet Punch, completely knocking out this Mimikyu. So, and now the Mimikyu is about to go down, and my Machamp's going to lose a little bit of HP with the burn, but it doesn't really matter because my Machamp is super powerful thanks to the Guts ability. And right here, my opponent sends out the Lunala, and it's gonna and here's where I plan to send out my Skarmory to set up the Tailwind for my Lycanroc. However, well, just watch. My Falcon Zord goes down. So, yeah, right here I'm really hoping that my Lycanroc is still faster than this Lunala. I actually looked it up on Bulbapedia, and I was like, yes, it's faster. But turns out I was actually looking at the midday form. But luckily, my Lycanroc Midnight was EV trained in speed. So now out comes my opponent's last Pokemon, the Celio? I don't really know this Pokemon's name, but I guess it was holding the Focus Sash or something, because, you know, I go for one Stone Edge and it completely annihilates it. So, yeah, that's going to be the game. So yeah, I really hope you all enjoyed that Wi-Fi battle. I really enjoyed it myself, although I'm pretty sad that I never got to use my Tortuga set. But yeah, go on ahead and hit that like button and subscribe if you want to. I'd really appreciate it a bunch if you did. But yeah, you know, I hope to see you all next time. Later!